The NBA is a big men's league. It always has been. At the end of the day, they're closer to the rim. That's why the list of the best centers in league history is full of names that have turned entire franchises around. But there's one player, despite sharing a position with these legends, who understands basketball in a completely different way. Nikola Jokic continues to do the impossible. In fact, breaking 50-year-old records has become a simple routine for him. This season, in which he's averaging 25.9 points, 12.3 rebounds, and 9.2 assists per game, has only one precedent in league history: Oscar Robertson in 1962. 62 years ago. And this is just one of the crazy stats you can find on him. Really, how many centers would be above him historically if he manages to win another ring this season? Yeah, we could talk about Wilt Chamberlain and his absurd averages, or Bill Russell's 11 championship rings, or Kareem's scoring ability and longevity, Shaq's power and raw strength, or Hakeem's dominance on both ends of the court. But the truth is that Jokic is much closer to that group than we think.
Jokic has it. Clock ticks, gotta put one up. Jokic for the win! Oh!
So how's it possible that the most unathletic big man in the NBA is dominating the league at will? How's it possible that his playstyle has revolutionized basketball to the point of us entering a completely new era? And where is it right to place Jokic in a ranking of the best centers in league history? Well, let's talk about that. You guys like guessing, right? Well, let's compare two different careers of two different players. Player A's been a two-time NBA champion, two-time Finals MVP, two-time Defensive Player of the Year, and has a regular season MVP. On the other hand, Player B has been NBA champion once, Finals MVP once, and regular season MVP twice. Well, at first glance, the answer seems logical. But what if Player B won another championship with another Finals MVP and another regular season MVP? Wouldn't his legacy become objectively better? Well, Player A's career is the milestones achieved by one of the greatest centers in league history, Hakeem Olajuwan, and Player B is, not surprisingly, Nikola Jokic's career at age 29. If the Serbian manages to win another championship, something that seems far from fantasy, his track record would be better than that of the Nigerian American. And considering that the prime of NBA players comes between the ages of 27 and 32, it seems that Jokic has a long way to go before calling it a career. This current season, it's been business as usual. The center continues to dominate the Western Conference with ease, and his February's been remarkable. If you had to choose, which stat line would you pick? Maybe a game of 21 points, 19 rebounds, and 15 assists on 10 of 10 shooting from the field? Or would you prefer a game of 32 points, 16 rebounds, 16 assists, and 4 steals? Or wait a 29-15-14 game with 12 of 17 shooting? This is only from February. Yeah, this man's over here just playing 2K My Career. People also seem to have forgotten that the Nuggets posted a record of 16 wins and 4 losses during the last playoffs. The reality is that they're the team to beat. None of their opponents were able to stand up to them in a 7-game series. However, there are people who don't even place them as favorites in the West. And yeah, we get it, the stacked Clippers and Suns and the young, exciting Oklahoma squad are incredible teams on the rise, but the Nuggets, besides having the experience, know exactly what they're doing. However, one thing has changed from last year. Bench players left the Nuggets after the success of last year's playoffs to get the bag with other franchises, and certainly the teams lost talent. Cases such as Bruce Brown signing with Indiana or Jeff Green signing with Houston have led to increased responsibilities for other players such as Peyton Watson or Vlatko Cancar. Like any championship team with a championship coach, the culture of the franchise has allowed other secondary players to step up and adapt their game to the needs of the team. One way or another, the Nuggets are still the favorites to win the Western Conference, and that's a fact. But despite Denver's dominance against most opponents, this success has a specific cause. And well, it doesn't take a genius to figure it out. The Nuggets have a record of 8 wins and 15 losses when Jokic hasn't played since 2021. Not only is the center making availability his best ability, having missed only 23 games in the last 3 seasons, it's that the team without him is far from being a winning team. It's true Michael Malone's system is very good when the Serbian's available, and the truth is that the players around him perfectly complement his style of play. Aaron Gordon, Jamal Murray, Michael Porter Jr., Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, all of them with the exception of the Canadian, who's a bona fide star in his own sense, are absolutely elite role players. But it's clear they need a superstar to nurture their game. Jokic is also one of those superstars that makes his teammates better. Among all of his records, one of the most impressive is the one he achieved just a few weeks ago. After the Nuggets' 130-110 win over the Wizards, Jokic had a triple-double, and with that game, he became only the third player in league history to post a triple-double against all NBA teams. Yeah, it's just crazy. There are 15 teams in the league that he only plays against twice a year, and yet he's been able to dominate against all of them. His all-around game is precisely what allows him to elevate the Nuggets, as well as allowing him to be one of the most unique players in league history. And well, this all-around game may be his best asset going forward.
For the coaches, you should.
That's not super relevant to an NBA game, but
how about Jokic with an incredible pass?
While some centers throughout history have dominated the game with athleticism, like Wilt Chamberlain or Shaquille O'Neal, Nikola's dominated with skill and smarts. The Serbian's one of the players with the highest basketball IQ in the history of the league, and his vision has allowed him to generate advantages throughout his entire NBA journey. The good news? His strengths don't depend on young legs. Let me explain. Many athletic players' careers end sooner than the rest. They take more risks during the game. They're prone to getting injured more by using their athleticism. Think Derrick Rose. And in the case of big players, their injuries can become chronic more easily. For an example there, look no further than Greg Oden. But fortunately, Jokic should never have this kind of problem. It's true, any player in the league can get seriously injured in a game. All it takes is a bad fall, a bad spin, or even a slip. But while the possibilities are still there, Nikola's grounded game makes it very difficult for these situations to occur. With Jokic, it looks more like the problem will he have motivation to play in the NBA until he's 38, rather than will he be able to play in the NBA until he's 38. We know the two-time MVP likes horses. They're his greatest passion, more than achieving the dream of 100% of basketball fans around the world. No, that dream is just his 9 to 5. I mean, until what age could this man play in the league if he sets his sights on it? Not just all the years he has left of being a superstar. Barring injury or a move to professional horse racing, he'll continue to dominate for at least the next 5 years. If Boris Diaw with a remotely similar playstyle was a vital piece of the Spurs during their 2012 playoff run and 2013 championship, Jokic as a role player in the latter part of his career could wreak havoc. These role players who base their play on their basketball IQ end up finding teams interested automatically. Joe Ingles on the Magic, Nicholas Batum on the Sixers, there's plenty of examples. I think you have to realize the reality. Denying Jokic's dominance today was like denying LeBron's dominance 10 years ago, or like denying Steph's dominance 5 years ago. What we have in front of our eyes is a generational player, an anomaly. A player who's way ahead of his time that, thanks to the gods of basketball, we've been able to enjoy in our era. And like any player who seems to have arrived from the future, Jokic has changed the game. The NBA is no longer in the era of the three-point revolution. The theory of pace and space and the disappearance of traditional positions have been partly the work of a Serbian center who came into the league to turn it upside down. The question isn't whether Jokic will be one of the best 5 centers in NBA history. The real question is whether he'll be the best ever when he retires.